Hey guys. How do There we are. I'm seeing a bunch of people. I love it. Looks like Sam was the first one to say something. Sam, you win the prize. Tonight the prize is just being awesome enough to say you were first. Hey everybody, yesterday was Ashlyn's birthday. Birthday again, Ashlyn. People, this is great. Hey Kat, hey Amelia, hey Sam, hey darling. Here, hi Hannah, hey Jack. I'm liking that jello. That's Hey Samuel. Hey Emily. Hey Maddie. Hey Abby. Hi Sydney. Hey Jordan. Man, the gang's increasingly here. This is awesome. What's up, Nate? I'm glad you're here, man. Very cool. Well, guys, you can see the question up on the board. Text those answers to me. What's the thing you have eaten the of in recent weeks? And what's the thing that maybe you maybe where you would like to eat? Either totally okay. Text those answers to me. I want to see what y'all been into. Hey, Jackson's texted me already. This is awesome. Hey Jackson, I'm glad you're here, man. Hey Kenzie. Cheeseburger. I don't know anything about. All right, here comes some great answers. Very cool. And some of the responses on here. I'm going to read you some of the I received. I want you to try to guess who you think it is. So here's the first one. I've been eating it's and I've been craving a medium rare steak. So pockets and a medium rare steak. That's one of them. That's sense, Maddie. Fair enough. All right. That's good to know too, Sydney. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Grisburger. That's fun. All right. Another person sent in Fruit Loops. That has been my snack obsession lately. So y'all try to guess who that is. Somebody else said goldfish. I've eaten like 4 boxes of them, and I want tacos. Somebody else said goldfish. Wants sushi. That's actually kind of funny. She baked better fish instead of non-cooked fish. Fun. And then somebody else said a whole bunch of candy. Y'all probably won't be very hard to guess who that is. Maybe, just maybe. Ah, there's somebody that said chocolate is my snack right now. As long as you're not making meals out of chocolate, that's awesome. Hey, Caterade. Caterade is in the house. And then someone else said a Sonic strawberry lemonade the most. That means they're drinking lots of Sonic strawberry lemonades, or if they're craving lots of Sonic strawberry lemonades. I want to take any guesses on any of those, man. I'm all ears. Chick-fil-A, a slightly unhealthy amount. I don't know that Chick-fil-A is healthy in any amount, so rock on. Kate, what is spicy water? Hey, AJ, glad you're here. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not one of Kate's girls, I guess. That's okay. Spicy water. That's funny. Well, we've already learned something new tonight, y'all. Somebody else just texted in and said, I've been eating way too many Chips Ahoy and I've been craving Chick-fil-A nuggets for about a week. It's been at least 2 weeks since I've had any Chick-fil-A. AJ, are you for real? 3 miles yesterday? Man, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. What's up, Kelvin? We're glad you're here, man. Guys, I promise you, whenever we're able to start meeting together again, of Chick-fil-A nuggets waiting on us. I've not eaten out a lot, period, for weeks. But now that you say that, I just might, whenever we get done tonight, I may have to go buy some Chick-fil-A before I go home. Baby doll, do you want me to bring you home some Chick-fil-A when I get done? Actually, I think I'm craving a shake from Chick-fil-A more than I am the nuggets, although both sounds pretty great. You guys are so funny. But I'm glad that you have this attitude. That's perfect for our game tonight. So let's do our announcements and then we'll jump. Actually, let me tell you who was craving some things. Weston is the one that's been eating a lot of Chips Ahoy and he's craving CFA nuggets. Sydney Keck is the one that's been eating a lot of chocolate, but he really wants some steak. Jackson, I'm with you, brother. That's awesome, man. Let's get some. Jackson's been eating at least 4 boxes of goldfish, but he really wants tacos. So, Jackson, you can go to my house. There were tacos there tonight, so that's fun. Amelia has been eating goldfish, but she really wants sushi, which, again, I think that goes together so well. Like, really, really well. Abby Greenman is the one that has been. Abby, you have to explain to me. Have you been drinking a lot of Sonic Strawberry Lemonade, or do you want Sonic Strawberry Lemonade? That's the important differentiation there. All right, guys. Here's your announcements. Several things going on. If you don't to Will's number 2, y'all check in with them. No kidding. Kate misses y'all something fierce. Will misses y'all something fierce. I miss y'all something fierce too. That's good to know. Abby has been going to Sonic quite a bit. You're using your app and get the price thing, right? Miss Janet would be super proud of you if that's what you're doing. Um, but anyway, yeah, if you need anything, if you're bored, whatever, shoot us a text. You can FaceTime us, the whole 9 yards, because we love, love, love to hear from you. And we've been checking in with y'all over the several weeks too. We're going to keep doing that, probably even after we get back together in person, just because that's the way we roll. But if y'all ever need anything or you're bored or whatever, shoot us a text message or give us a call. You can FaceTime us. We would love to hear from you. All right. Hospital hospitality, guys. We are going back to Cook's Children's tomorrow. And so if you are able to donate towards that cause, we need fruit, we need snacks, and we need drinks. But those have to be in the fellowship hall by noon tomorrow, because we're going to go and deliver those things. Hey, Jaden, we're glad you're here, man. We're going to go deliver those things tomorrow to Cook's Children's. And so if you can come donate, or you want to come help organize, man, that's great. All right, that's going to be really, really good. But we're going back to we're going to go and redo all the hospitals that we've done, because it's time to go encourage them up again. Guys, if you have not been meeting with other people, specifically with your connection groups, man, here's some ways you can do that. And I can't encourage you to do that enough. Man, Zoom or FaceTime, certainly text with each other throughout the I know that there's a house party app, as one group is using Skype, which is cool. But the point is, find ways to meet together. Certainly as a connection group, but even if 3 or 4 of y'all met online and talked together and prayed together, maybe you had a little Bible study together, that would be stellar. But don't let this be the only time that you connect with other people from our church. Find ways to hook up, all right? And again, talk to your connection group leaders, because they certainly want to meet with you as well. But you can do that. We have a Katrina challenge. Katrina has given us a physical challenge, and it's a pretty good one. In fact, it's a really, really good one. So I wanted to bring that one to y'all on the staff yesterday. A few other guys did it, which was fun. But you can do any derivation of this, okay? And by that, I mean like a percentage of it. But Katrina's challenge is this: 100 push-ups, do 150 air squats, 50 burpees. And I think you should do them all at one sitting. Some people think that you can just do them over the course of the day. That's not technically against the rules. I just think it's more effective if you do it all at one time. So that's the way I'm doing it, to bring this challenge to you. If you ran, that's awesome, AJ. Truly, that's pretty stellar, man. Now, imagine how good that run would feel if you did 100. That would be stellar. You can do at least one push-up. So remember how Becca taught y'all how to do, what's the word I'm looking for, darling? Modified push-ups. Don't like knee push-ups totally count. That's totally fine. But you guys, no kidding. Like if you just did 1 and 2 air squats and a half of a burpee, but get up, be sure. Air squats are just squatting without any weights. And so literally you just up and down, up and down. Yeah, push-ups against the wall or Emily. Yeah, there you go. Always check in with Miss Becca for modifications. Those are really handy. Yep. Just a squat in the air with no weights. If you want to cross your arms like this and go straight down, you want to try to get down to where it's almost like you're sitting. But anyway, this is a cool challenge from Miss Katrina, and I wanted to pass that along to y'all. So if you're feeling beast modish and you want to do more than that, or if you're feeling beast modish and you want to send me video of you doing this, that would be awesome. I will send you back a beast mode from my kids, and you'll probably get displayed on the youth pages too. But yeah, take up Miss Katrina's challenge. It's great. And then if you want to, tomorrow on Facebook Live, Katrina and Becca are leading a workout, and that workout includes a lot of just dancing, which is super fun. So jump onto the church, no page, the LC Facebook page, and you can do the dances with Becca and Katrina, which It is. It's a lot of fun. So there's my hey, go check out how awesome my wife is because she is awesome, and jump in with them. Okay, guys, the First Corinthians challenge. We are reading the book of First Corinthians twice between now and the end of April, which there's not many days left in April, but it's still totally doable because the chapters in First Corinthians are not that long. By the way, it's totally okay to cheat, like just read chapter one once and then turn around and read it again because you can retain so much more that way. But try to read the book of First Corinthians twice before the end of the month. And we're going to spend some more time studying First. There's a lot of good stuff here. We're going to do our first lesson on it tonight. We're going to take a few more weeks to do it too because there's some stuff I want y'all to catch. First Corinthians challenge. And then don't forget about the digital talent show. Guys, I can't stress, like I really, really, really want y'all to take part in this. Send me something you're good at. It can be a picture of you doing the thing you're good at or a video of you doing the thing you're good at. It might be something you created, like something you built out of Legos or something that you've drawn, or gosh, like if you did some really awesome yard work or you built something in your backyard or you've learned a cool dance or you have learned how to flick your boogers across the living room and make them stick against the wall. I mean it when I say like no talent is too small. If it's just something silly you've taught yourself since you, that's awesome. But send those videos to me and Kate because we're going to do a digital talent. It's not about winning a prize. It's just something where we can cheer each other on. Hey, how cool. And look at all these fun things that we can do. And y'all can do a lot of fun stuff, truly. Some of the videos y'all already sent me are so much fun, man. I'm really, really proud of y'all. We've gotten some cool pictures that were like, if you're good at photography, take a picture of something that you just really, really like. That's fine. Somebody did a stopgap video, which is so much fun, like videos that you've created on YouTube. If you did something cool in a video game and you want to send me the thing in the game that you did that was awesome, that's great. But yeah, send me a Stitch video. But yeah, it's digital talent show should be a whole lot of fun. All right, so jump on board with that. All right. So I don't know if you've ever seen these books before or not, but my kids love these books. They're called Who Would Win? Did any of y'all read these when you were little? Some of y'all may still read these because they are pretty interesting. Anybody read the Who Would Win book? If you they're animals against each other. Yeah, there you go. Some of those books yeah, they're really, really great. So like the scorpion versus the tarantula is a lot of fun, or the lion versus the tiger. And I like the grizzly bear versus the polar bear. But what's fun about them, like it paints these funny like fights in between them. And sometimes they're like, no, that those two critters are probably not going to fight each other. But it gives you a lot of really like actual legit scientific facts between these two entities and who would win potentially in a fight between the two, like the T-Rex versus the. It's just here's what we know about these animals. If they were to fight, here's probably what they could do. An ant versus an elephant. There you go. Yeah. So some of them are funny. Well, I thought it would be fun tonight to do our own version of who would win, except we're not going to do animals. We're going to people or superheroes, any character or historical figures. We intentionally mix some stuff up that's going to be a lot of fun. So I want y'all to tell me again. You can text it to me, whatever you want to do. But you tell me who you think would win in a fight. So here's our first one. Yeah, there's some real people. So like for instance, who would win in a fight between Wally versus R2D2? Hey, McKenna, I didn't get to say hi to you yet. Awesome. R2. Oh gosh. R2's running away with this one. Hey, Jordan. That a boy. Jaden's taking up for Wally. I did not think this would be so one-sided, but it is. Jackson's in with R2D2 as well. That's good. Truth be told, because R2 been in so many fights and always comes out on top. Yeah, definitely. Tell me why you think he's going to win too. R2's already won a lot of fights, so chances are good he would take out Wally. Wally is still figuring out the world he lives in too. R2's been in space for a long, 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 long time. Yeah, we're being a little more mean to Wally. All right, this to do with it. How about Legolas versus Katniss? Legolas versus Katniss. This one's a little bit trickier. Diving into the R2 fight. There you go. That is hard. You're right. If you don't know who these people are, by the way, that's okay. Let's see what Jackson says. Jackson says Legolas. Yeah, Katniss is from her games. Legolas is from the Lord of the Rings. Both of them are incredibly good shots with bow and arrow. I guess I could have thrown in the X Factor here and thrown in Hawkeye as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Is Katniss, Legolas, or Hawkeye? If you want to throw Hawkeye in and see what you think about that, that's fine. And Robin Hood. Robin Hood's definitely, you can put him in this fight as well. Jackson says still Legolas, even with Robin Hood and Hawkeye involved. Oh, y'all are great. Oliver Queen. I don't know who. Green Arrow. Forgot about Green Arrow. I don't know who Oliver Queen is. Ashlyn. Should I be ashamed of the fact that I don't know who Oliver Queen is? Oh, all right. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't ever watch Green Arrow. My bad. All right. Here's the next one. And this one might be controversial. We'll see what happens. But I'm definitely interested to think about this fight. We're going to do Sub-Zero versus Elsa. Sub-Zero versus Elsa. Who do you think would win a fight here? Sub-Zero or Elsa? I didn't think about Frozone. If you want to throw Frozone in there too, that's cool. Attaboy, Jaden. Throw Olaf in there. I didn't think about Frozone. That's a great idea. Sub-Zero is from Mortal Kombat. That Sub-Zero would win because he's way more ruthless, but Elsa would put up a good fight. Got a few more votes for Olaf, couple of votes for Frozone. Emily Goodwin with the Jack Frost. I like that thought too. That's good. McKenna is correct. Elsa's got the huge snow monster. That helps. She can make a whole bunch of little snow monsters to help her too. Y'all are processing through this to go, guys. I like it. I really do like it. 10 more seconds and then we're going to jump to the next one. The dress may be problematic. You're right. Don't forget though, she's also got that awesome new horse that she rides on now too. So that might help her. That's not a bad thought, Nate. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. Some of y'all might struggle with this one too because it's two beloved characters. I think you're all going to know who these two people are. We're going to do Yoda versus Gandalf. Yoda versus Gandalf. Now you might be thinking those two wouldn't fight, but you never know. They're both pretty wise. They both have great swords. Both have supernatural abilities. Yep, some of y'all are. Oh gosh. There we go. This is a Dumbledore. Now, see, I think Gandalf would take Dumbledore no problem. Baby Yoda. Now you're talking. Yoda, believe I do. Well done, Jordan. Good thinking. Jackson says, good fight, but Yoda would win. He has the Force. The Force is awfully helpful. You make an excellent point there. Beards do make everything a little bit better, don't they? Says the guy that couldn't grow a beard to save his life. See, isn't it? We're not done messing with y'all, though. This one's going to be a little bit harder, too. I think I'm a little biased. Weston says it's good. That a girl, Sydney. I was hoping somebody'd bring that up. I was hoping somebody'd bring you shall not pass. All right, here's the next one. It's the fight between two bazillionaires, super rich orphans. I'm gonna see what you think. What do you think about Iron Man versus Batman? Iron Man versus Batman. This would be a pretty interesting fight. They both got crazy money. Jackson says Batman. He's giving me some reasoning, which is good. Well, Superman wouldn't be a fair fight. So just stay in terms of two orphans who have bazillions of dollars and use a lot of technology. That's why this one's interesting. See, Iron Man doesn't have any powers either, though. Amelia, I'm inclined to stay with you on your thinking. The Marvel movies have been the DC movies. Although the Batman movies, the original, not the original three Batman movies, the Christian Bale Batman movies are pretty great. All right, Gage and Zoe are playing in the game. We're glad y'all are here. Hey guys, thanks for saying howdy. They both say Batman. Iron Man can fly. That's helpful. Tie. That's fun. Jackson says, oh, he thinks Batman would win because he found a way to beat Superman. And that's pretty legit. They're both crazy smart, cat. There you go. Now Jackson's thinking. There you go. All right. We've got three more. This one's going to be hard on some of y'all too. I want to know who you would think you would win in a fight. And this time it's a group of people. So think groups, but you can also think the lead characters too. All right. So here we go. Who's going to win between Hamilton or Hansen? Hamilton or Hansen? So Evan Hansen versus Alexander Hamilton. but then also all the cast, like just one giant collision of a fight. So it's it's a Broadway Civil War. Who's going to win? Hamilton versus Evan Hansen. It's okay if you don't like either of them. Yeah, I know. It's getting hard. It's getting really hard. Not a boy, Jaden. Gandalf. So Alexander Hamilton, both of them are plays on Broadway. I've never actually seen Dear Evan Hansen. Kylie is the one to explain Evan Hansen because she lives and breathes that. But I do know Alexander Hamilton, and it's a musical based on his life. It's pretty interesting. So um, if I had to guess, probably Alexander Hamilton would win. That, it's hard to argue with that reasoning, Hannah. I like that. I don't know much about the cast of either one, but I do know that Alexander Hamilton lost his life. Anybody can tell me the name of the person who killed Alexander Hamilton? Ah, that's there you go. Amelia's thinking like, yeah, those characters actually fought in a war. That girl. There's my people. They're knowing some history. Now the question is, did you know that before you watched Hamilton? It was a duel. Yep, Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr. That's okay. All right. This one's going to be fun because it's between a real person and a cartoon character. All right. It's going to be hard. Girls, it's your day, though. I want to see who you think would win between Mulan or Joan of Arc. Mulan or Joan of Arc. All right, that'll boy Jordan. Good. Jaden's on Team Elsa. That's good. Oh, Jackson, I'm sorry, man. Jackson was on Team Hamilton, by the way. Jackson says this is hard, but I think Mulan would win. Singing dragon and a lucky cricket. That's very good reasoning, Miss Meg. That is helpful. Joan of Arc had the entire French army. She led the French army. Then it French. So, you know. By the way, 17 when she was fighting in wars. She was actually a pretty cool historical figure. Not a girl, Maddie. Sam's got a good point too. The Huns, that's right. All right, last one. And this one just makes me laugh. Just to even say it. Attila the Hun. Well done. Just to say this one makes me laugh, but it's actually two real deal historical figures, super incredible human beings. Both of them should be reasons. Both of them are personal heroes of mine. The idea of the two of them fighting in a battle just makes me laugh. So here it is. We have David or Davy Crockett. David or Davy Crockett? Who do you think would win in a fight between David and Davy Crockett? Really, not even even the thought just makes me laugh. David, as in King David from the Bible, the guy who beat Goliath, or Davy Crockett. All right, no one's going to think less of you if you bet against the guy in the Bible. All right. Well done, Jackson. I'm proud of you for connecting these dots, man. You're a good man. Kat, are you for real? Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That's right. Okay, guys, this is super cool. Kat just told me that her dad is a descendant of David Crockett. Crazy cool. Kat's my new favorite person of the day because she is related to a bona fide Texas hero. I would like to have had King David in the Alamo. That would have been awesome. Ashlyn, you were my favorite yesterday and your birthday. Someone else famous from Texas, you might reclaim the prize. Hey, Blaine, we're glad you're here, man. Yep. David versus David Crockett makes me started. We got to get in the Bible, man, because that's important. Thanks for playing the game, though. That's so much fun. Y'all have made me laugh. I hope I made you laugh a little bit. These are the kind of questions that you ask yourself when you've been sitting at home and staring at your wall for hours and hours. You start dreaming up these elaborate fights and asking these crazy questions. And by the way, if you come up with your own crazy questions, send those to me, and maybe we meet those as a group. It would be a lot of, all right? So if you think of crazy questions while you're laying around or doing whatever it is you do, let me know, and maybe we can debate those. About 1 Corinthians. Hopefully you got a Bible close by. You can open up on your I love it better when y'all are using a real Bible, but nonetheless, we're going to look at the book of 1 Corinthians, specifically chapter 3. So 1 Corinthians chapter 3. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 is where we need to be at. We're going to look at the whole chapter, but not like super in depth like we normally would. I'm going to look at super in depth verses 10 to the end of the chapter with y'all. But hopefully you've been doing the 1 Corinthians chapter, the 1 Corinthians challenge. So you've already read this once, if not twice already now. And you know there's some pretty interesting stuff all throughout the book of 1 Corinthians. Kate already talked to us about it last week. It's a crazy book because of the stuff that the people were doing. But it's also a crazy book because you see how good and gracious and kind God is and how He is with us. And ultimately, wants us to be interacting as a church family. So I think it's more than appropriate for us to be studying this book. Because by the way, just because we're team principals, the better off we as a church family are going to be. So let's kind of jump in. I'm going to read the chapter and then we're going to talk about it. All right. So here we go. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Dear brothers and sisters, when I was with you, I couldn't talk to you as I do spiritual people. I had to talk to you as though you belong to this world and as though you were infants in the Christian. I had to feed you with milk, not with solid food, because you weren't ready for anything stronger. And you still aren't ready, for you're still controlled by your sinful nature. So just to kick it off, it sounds at first like Paul is making fun of them, and he's not. No one makes fun of a baby because a baby drinks milk, right? That's what a baby's supposed to drink. It's what helps them grow. And so Paul says, came to Christ, I had to treat you kind of like babies because I had to teach you everything. That's normal. He's not making fun of them. At verse 3, that's when he starts to make fun of them a little bit. All right. That's when he says, hey, by the way, you've been Christians for a long time now, but you're still acting like babies. You're arguing over stupid stuff, which, by the way, what we did tonight, you could say that's arguing over stupid stuff, but that's not actually, I hope it's not dividing our group. If y'all are mad at each other because of, you know, Sub-Zero versus Elsa, then we have bigger issues. That's just us having fun. The people in 1 Corinthians, or the church at Corinth, they legitimately at times hated each other because of who they liked. Remember, we talked about from chapter 1, Kate explained this so well. There were people that said, hey, I'm on team Paul. Like, that's my dude. I'm going to hang out with him. Other people that said, no, man, I'm with Apollos. Other people like, I don't care about anybody. I'm just with Jesus, which sounds good, except Jesus himself would want us to not dislike other people because we make any sense, right? And so literally, like, their church has just turned into this giant group of factions. Nobody got following a particular dude. So Paul's coming back to this idea in chapter 3, but he's going to help us understand a bit more, right? So now he's making fun of him, says, hey, you're acting like a bunch of babies, so I'm treating you like babies. But it's not just him making fun of him. He's trying to fix this. So keep rolling. Look at verse 5. After all, who's Apollos? Who's Paul? We are only God's servants, though whom you believed the good news. Each of us did the work the Lord gave us. I planted the seed in your hearts, and Apollos watered it, but it was God who made it grow. So I talked about this a little bit on Monday, just through my text message. Okay, God gives all of us the opportunity to serve him in different ways. And so sometimes you get to be the person that leads someone else to Jesus. And sometimes you're the person that helps somebody grow in their faith with Jesus. And sometimes you're the person who maybe shares Jesus with them, and you don't save someone else gets to do that job, but you helped that seed grow a little bit in their lives. You helped move them along in the direction of faith. And Paul says, hey, everybody that's part of the process, whether you're the one that planted the seed, whether you're the one that watered the seed, whether you're the one that actually harvested the seed, it does not matter. What matters is you're serving God. That's a big, 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 big deal. And so, sorry, I got a text message from y'all. I was making sure that was not something about tonight, okay? So he says, stop fighting. Be excited about the fact that you get to along. Keep reading. Verse 7 says, it's not important who does the planting. It's not important who does the watering. What's important is God's seed. God's the one who makes it. So by the way, no matter what your job in church is, God is the one who makes your work effective. And so trust that God is going to keep working in your life and use you to further his kingdom. And don't worry about what everyone else's gifts are and whether or not you're doing something as well as anybody else. You just be faithful with your gift and serve God. And he's going to be the one that's going to make it all work. It says, for we are both God's workers and you're God's field. You are God's building. All right. And that's where we're going to kick off here in verse 10. So we're going to really dig in now. So everyone look at 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 10. Check this out because it's really cool. It says, because of God's grace to me, I have laid the foundation like an expert builder. Now but whoever is building on this foundation must be very careful. All right, so he went from talking about agriculture, now he's talking about architecture. Paul used a lot of illustrations from, I don't want the real world because the Bible is the real world, but from kind of everyday living. Corinth, who were farmers, there were people in Corinth who were architects, and Paul's just using illustrations to help people understand what's going on. So he's talking about a building here, all right? He says, hey, whenever I started this church, and Paul is the one who started this church, and he's talking specifically, when I came to Corinth for the first time, I laid the foundation for this church, and I did it expertly. Now, you hear that and you're like, whoa, Paul's kind of cocky. He's not being cocky here. He is laying a foundation of truth, really important. This. He's saying, when I came to start this church here, I did it exactly the way that it's supposed to happen because I made the foundation of this church on Jesus and on nothing else. I didn't make the foundation of the church me. I didn't make the foundation of the church me and Apollos and Jesus. We laid the foundation of the church of, if you people, you need to follow and love and serve to his calling in your lives. That's the basis of the church. That's the starting point. That's also the ending point. That's a big, big deal. So Paul says, when he says I did it expertly, he's not saying, man, I am the greatest ever lived. Like I'm the man and everyone else needs to do it like I did. He's saying I did it the way that God wanted us to do it. I made God the foundation. And then he says, hey, by the way, anybody that comes and builds on the church. So Paul stayed in Corinth for a couple of years, and then he had to leave and go plant some other churches. Then he says, okay, so other pastors that have come in to teach y'all, he says they need to be really, really careful on what they're laying on top of the foundation. Well, what's he referring to here? He's talking about the people that have come in and all of a sudden now, okay, I know the foundation, like our starting point is Jesus. But now we're going to add some other stuff to our church that's really, it's kind of about us. It's kind of about, hey, how awesome are we? And man, God just likes us better than all these other people. Or you know what, the foundation of our church is we just really like to hang out. We're not necessarily interested in talking about Jesus a lot. Like we just really like being friends. Like that's what our church is about. All right. And so Paul says, anybody that's going to come in and build on the foundation that was laid, and yes, I'm the one who laid it, but I'm not the point. By the way, you need to catch that from verse 10. He says, God, it was God's grace that helped me do this. So God is the one who taught me how to lay the foundation of a church. It's not me just being awesome all by myself. So, by the way, you need to hear that, guys, from me. If you think I'm an awesome youth pastor, I'm glad you think that, but it's God is the one who helps me do this job. Pastor Eric would tell you the exact same thing. God is the one who makes Pastor Eric a great leader for our church. And Dr. Ed and all the other pastors and other pastors you may be familiar with, whether it's pastors from another church you used to go to, or maybe a really famous pastor you've seen on TV. God's the one who gives us these gifts. We have to steward these, but he's the one who allows us to do the things, especially the good things that we do, to do them well. And so it says, by God's grace, he's helped me lay this foundation. And so if anybody else is going to come, they need to be careful because that foundation really needs to be the entirety of the church, not just the starting point. So keep reading. This is no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, Jesus Christ. Of church, guys. He's the reason we congregate together. He's the reason that we love each other. He's the reason that we love other people. Jesus is the reason that we're here. We're apart right now. We're still finding ways to meet online because we love Jesus and we love each other. And Jesus has helped us to love each other. But Jesus is the foundation of our church. He's the one that we want to learn from, and he's the one we want to become like. He's the point, and he's where we're headed to. So Jesus is the foundation. Look at verse 12. Now, this is where things get kind of interesting to me. Sticking with the architectural building concepts here. All right, here we go. Verse 12. Anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or straw. All right, so I want everybody to think about when you were little kids and you've read or you've heard the story of the three little pigs, right? So the three little pigs were the pigs that were running away from the big bad wolf, and one wolf, one pig built his house out of straw, right? And another pig built his house out of sticks, and another pig built his house out of bricks. And the pig that built his house out of straw, his house fell down and he died. And the pig who built his house out of sticks, his house got blown down and he died. But the pig that built his house stood whenever there was great trouble that came upon his life. And the big bad wolf came knocking and blowing and huffing and puffing and all that stuff. The house stood up and he was safe. No problem. Right? That's the story of the three little pigs. So we all understand kind of that principle. Well, here's Paul talking about, okay, so when you're building a church, you need to think carefully about the materials you use to build that church. Except I want you to remember something. He's not talking about a church building. It's really, really essential you keep that in mind. All right? Well, yeah, there's Ashlyn, there's a really, really good. No, you're good. Hang on. Ashlyn, that's a really good point because, yes, absolutely, Satan is the one that's coming to rock our church. But we're not talking about just a church building. Because the point that we're going to make here is we as human beings, we're the church, right? This building is irrelevant. It's nice to have this building, incredible tool, but at the end of the day, it's just a tool. We are the church. We're going to and hang on to that thought. Okay, that's really, really good. We are the place where God's Spirit dwells within us. But as you are building your life and as others are building your life, so part of my job is to build into your lives and to teach you how to follow Jesus, right? I need to use good. If I were building a house, I would not want to build a house out of straw or sticks or trash or I say I wouldn't want to build a house out of Legos. A Lego house might be kind of cool, but I'm also not entirely sure that a Lego house would stand up against fire or other things, right? And so I want to use good if I'm building a house. So when it comes to me building the house that is this church, right? Remember, materials I use to build you in your lives need to be good materials. So that just means I need to keep pointing you to Jesus, right? And teaching you how to follow Jesus and love Jesus and understand why Jesus asks us to do the things that we can do and that kind of thing. If I'm telling you to follow other people, or if I'm telling you just to make your life about yourselves and just kind of check into church every once in a while and be you don't want to go to hell, but after that, it doesn't really matter. I have misled you terribly. And if I keep reminding you and showing you from the scriptures on a regular basis, guys, like Jesus is the reason that we live. Jesus is the reason why we're here. He's given us our lives so that we can love him and serve him and bless others and point others to him. If I keep reminding you that we're building your lives in a fashion that can stand up, if of course you're willing to obey. That's kind of the caveat on all this. But keep reading. This is pretty interesting, okay? Verse 13 says, on judgment day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done. And that fire will show if a person's work has any value. So I'm just thinking, whoa, fire, right? If you have a house built out of straw, that house is not going to survive if someone were to light it on fire. Oof is right. Totally. Yeah. If you have a house made of brick, or by the way, if you have a house made of gold and you light it on fire, actually what's interesting, gold specifically, fire causes it to be refined. You can melt it, and when you melt that gold, it's all melted down, but then you can get, it's called dross. It's this kind of nasty stuff that builds up in gold. You can melt it down, you get the dross out of it, and then you can form it back into whatever you want, and it becomes more pure and more awesome. And so here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to reference several verses here. All right. But here's the deal. Paul is referencing the end. It's just the end of life as kind of we know it right now. Jesus actually physically being here, ruling on the planet. And it says, whenever he comes back, there's going to be, it's called the bema. It's called the judgment seat of Christ. Are going to stand before the judgment seat of Christ. And it says right here, we're going to see it again. Actually, let me read it here, okay? Verse 13, on the judgment day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done, and that fire will show if a person's work has any value. So we're going to stand before God, and we're going to show him, okay, Lord, these are the things that I've done for you. By the way, it's not like enough good stuff to get into heaven. Hear me say that right now. I'm going to read a second, but this is not, if you don't do enough good stuff, you don't get into heaven. Salvation works. Salvation is completely the work of God. He saved us. And he saved us so that we can serve him, right? That's really important for y'all to understand. But that when we stand before God at the end of our lives, he's going to look at the entirety of what we've done and how we've lived. And he's going to say, okay, what have you done? And was it worthwhile? And it's going to be passed through fire. I don't know that there's going to be an actual literal fire. All right. But he's going to look at all these things and not only, and just get real hardcore, not just like the sinful things. It's the idea of all the things that we've done for God are going to pass through fire. And he's going to look at not only, hey, like, did you serve me well, but why did you serve me? It's all about motives. Because here's the thing. Y'all remember in Matthew chapter 6, when Jesus was teaching on the Sermon on the Mount, he talked about a group of people, a really, really, really religious group of people who loved to pray. You say, well, that sounds great. And they love to fast. Well, fasting is phenomenal, right? And they love to give. Praise God, like giving is great. Except they love to do all three of those things so that other people would think that they were great. And so they would do it in big showy fashions. Like they would literally go stand on the side of the road and they would pray and they would pray loudly and sometimes arrogantly, all because they wanted people to go, wow, that guy's so awesome. Like he's so spiritual. That guy really, really loves God. I want to be like him. And Jesus said very plainly, notice this wording because it's important. Jesus says that person has already received their reward. Their reward is other people thinking that they're great. They wanted other people to think that they were awesome, and so other people think they're awesome, but doesn't think it's awesome whenever we're awesome and spiritual and great, and hey, don't you like me because I'm so good? We've missed it. So it says that stuff to the fire and stuff that's like wood or stubble or hay, it's just going to burn up. But things that were built with good materials, actually, it changes the word materials to motive. Things that you did for the Lord with a good motive, like you genuinely, like you just wanted to honor Jesus. You just wanted to see someone else's life blessed, whether you got credit for it or not. By the way, it's not a sin to get credit for the stuff that you've done, and it's certainly not a sin for others to go, wow, you did a really great job. It's a sin if that's your only motive, that I just really, really want people to think I'm great. That's when it becomes sinful. That's when it becomes not good building materials. But if you are giving to other people, or you're serving your neighbor right now, are you just being kind with your words? Or you actually are praying on a regular basis, or you're fasting on a regular basis, or not even a regular basis. You need to pray on a regular basis. You might fast, 2 or 3 times over the course of a month or a year. But your motive is like, I want to do this just to honor God, or I want to do this because I want to grow, not because I want people to think I'm great. If you do that, it says this, look at verse 14. It says, if the work survives, the builder will receive a reward. But if the work is burnt up, the builder will suffer great loss. The builder will be saved, but like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames. This is important, guys. Catch that. Remember, I told you a second ago, we're not talking about salvation here. It's not if you show up in heaven with a bunch of wood and straw and hay, that if all that gets burnt up, you go to hell. That's not it. He actually says right here, it says all their stuff is going to be burnt up, but they survived. That means they get to come to heaven, but they show up to heaven empty-handed. But the people built on the house of God, the people that tried to build the kingdom of God, and they used good materials, they had pure motives, and they wanted to serve. Those people, they get rewards. Now, I don't know about y'all. I like rewards. Rewards are cool. I'm kind of motivated by winning, right? Some of y'all are too. It's nice to get trophies or medals or whatever. Actually, I just like candy, right? Like if you tell me, hey, if you do something, I'll probably be in, right? So we like rewards. We like being motivated. God just gave us a really cool motivations are cool. God says this. He says, hey, if you serve me with a pure heart, if you serve me in an effort not to get to make other people think that you're great, if you serve me because you think that I'm great, because you think great, and you think that your life is built on the basis of Jesus is all that matters, and I just want to serve him. Other people think I'm great. That's fun, but I want Jesus to think that I'm great. That's what matters. And if you do things to people's lives on the kingdom of God, says those things you will be rewarded for. Well, some of you are like, okay, cool. What's what's my reward, right? Like, do we get medals in heaven? No, we actually get crowns in heaven. And it's kind of cool. Crowns get talked about not only in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, but in 2 Corinthians as well. In chapter 5, Jesus talked about rewards in the Sermon on the Mount. That was really, really cool. He also talks about the fact in Revelation chapter 22, he says, "Behold, I am coming quickly, and my rewards are in my hand." So you're saying, okay, man, if he's only got rewards in his hand, that means he doesn't have that many rewards. Keep in mind, Jesus has really big hands. He's going to give us crowns for the things that we've done. You're thinking, well, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And by the way, that is plural crowns, more than one. In fact, the Bible talks about 5 different crowns that you can get. Some of you wonder, okay, how do I wear 5 different crowns? The best explanation I've ever had given to me, and so that was pretty good, was the idea of like, you know how you can stack up checkers? And in checkers, you literally say, crown me, right? Think like that. Now, I don't know that for a fact. That's not in the Bible, but it makes it make a little more sense. But actually, the bigger thing you need to know, guys, is this. All right? In Revelation chapter 4, it talks about the sea of people at the throne of Jesus, when we're all standing before Jesus' throne, and when the angels begin to say, "Holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come." It says the people that are sitting immediately beside Jesus, all of them fall down on their faces. And it says they throw their crowns at Jesus' feet. Well, here's what I'm thinking. If the elders and the people that are close to Jesus their crowns, you better believe if I've got a crown to give, I'm giving that sucker to Jesus. Which, by the way, how cool would that be? Now, that might sound weird, like, okay, like Jesus just gave me this crown. Why would I give it back to Jesus? Well, again, my motive was like, I just wanted to serve and bless and please Jesus. I still want to do that. And so if Jesus gives me a reward and then I have the opportunity to give that reward back to Jesus, cool is that? So here's the image that I have in my head, guys. If I have the ability to earn rewards on earth that I get to give to Jesus later on when I stand before his throne, and this makes it really, really clear, like we get that opportunity, that I want to stack up as many crowns as humanly possible. Like I want to have U-Haul trucks that when it's time out at Jesus's feet, that like I'm backing up U-Haul trucks. And by the way, like I don't say that like to say like, man, I want to have more stuff than all the rest of you people because I love Jesus more than you. Because by the way, if that's my motive, that's a bad motive. And anything that I did with that motive gets burnt up like it's nothing, right? I want to serve him so much that when I get to present him a pile of stuff and I say, Lord, I love you so, so much. And this is what I did for you. And I'm sorry that it's not enough because it just doesn't compare with what you did for me. There's nothing that can compare for what you did for me. But man, I sure tried. So here's my gift to you. Thank you for letting me earn these things for you. Now, if I had to guess, because of what we know about Jesus, and of his love and his kindness and his goodness and his grace, he's probably going to go, my son, my daughter, I love you so much. And you keep your crown. But the elders are going to be throwing stuff to their feet, to Jesus's feet. And I want to be part of that crowd, man. And so this is why we serve Jesus with pure motives, not only because it's right and it's good, and because we want to see our work on earth be helpful in other people's lives, part of the throng in heaven that's going to be blessing Jesus with our gifts. So that's what he's describing right there. It's really, really good, guys. So we're almost done. Keep rolling. Verse 18, stop deceiving. If you think you know you're wise by the world's standards, you need to become a fool to be truly wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness to God, as the scriptures say. He traps the wise in the snare of their own cleverness. And again, the Lord thoughts of the wise, for he knows that they are worthless. Okay, so this is a Stoic concept. One of the big things about the Stoic, it was all about knowledge. And I have more knowledge than you. I have more knowledge than you. And by the way, I gained all of my knowledge from so-and-so. And whoever you were following, whoever was your mentor, that's important. And so Paul right here is saying, stop it. You bunch of children, stop it. Y'all are acting like, not only are you acting like kids, but you're acting like unbelievers, because it's all the unbelievers that are saying, like, I follow Paul. I got all my information from Paul. And I follow Apollos. He's really great. By the way, Apollos was like an amazing preacher. Paul would even say, like, Paul's a much better speaker than I am. And so people would say, well, I'm with Apollos. And others say, well, I'm just with Jesus. Forget all you wrong. And he says, stop acting that way. You're acting like children. You're acting like unbelievers. Get along for the sake of the gospel. Stop bragging about what information you have as compared to everyone else. By the way, look at how the chapter ends. It's pretty good. It says, don't boast about following a particular human leader, for everything belongs to you. Everything belongs to me? Well, that sounds awesome, right? He's actually talking about something very specific. Hey, you are a child of the Most High God. You belong to Jesus. He has made you, and he knows everything. And because you belong to him and you're part of his family, you have access to an infinite amount of knowledge and wisdom. And because you're his kid, he will give you these things. So stop acting like kids and trying to one up each other. All of you are family members, and all of you have access to the exact same goodness as everyone else. Stop fighting. It doesn't matter who led you to Christ. What matters is Christ. Last verse is so good. It says, whether Paul or Apollos, so Peter was another guy they would fight over, or the word of life and death, or the present or the future, everything belongs to you. He says it again there. You belong to Christ, and Christ belongs to God. So he starts off again, y'all are acting like babies. Stop acting like babies. Jesus is the foundation. Jesus is the thing that matters most. You belong to Jesus. Jesus is from God. Jesus is God. Some of your Bibles probably put it that way, and that's the way it needs to be put. Jesus is God. So stop fighting. Follow Jesus and get along. Guys, I think this is incredibly pertinent for us. Because if we're honest, there's things that we fight about. And if we're honest, there are times when we are motivated by making other people think that we're great, as opposed to just telling the truth. It's pertinent in a lot of different ways, but those are the two big things in my mind right now. Both for me personally, because by the way, even though I'm a pastor, even though I've been following Jesus for a long time, there's times when I'm tempted to go, I need to go do this because it would be not just it would be the right thing, but I bet so-and-so would be really happy with me if I did the right thing. The youth group would be really impressed, like if I went and did this great thing for Jesus. And all that stuff, man, like it's good to go serve the Lord. But if that's I'm getting it wrong. The thing that should motivate us all the time is, and yes, be motivated that we can get. Just remember, like, we're going to give those things to Jesus. But we just want to serve him sincerely. Does that make sense? Hopefully y'all are still good, good, good. All right. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to stop talking. We can hang out for a little while longer on here. Um, Remind me in a minute, and I will show y'all how Zion acknowledges questions that I ask him. We'll see if y'all, all right? But let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you so very much. For starters, for loving us, despite the fact that we fight over silly stuff, and not in playful ways. Like sometimes we legit fight over silly stuff. Father, we don't always get along the way that we ought to. We frequently, I can't say we there, Father. I know I don't always have the right motive. Like my efforts are not always just to please you. Sometimes I do. I want to heal those. Make us whole. Jesus, I pray that you would help us to continue to build on the foundation that is our church. Thank you for making our church. Father, help us to build on, again, not just the church building, but our lives. Help us to build on that in ways that are so pleasing to you and are so helpful. Lord, when we add to the kingdom, help us to disciple and develop them well. But teach us how to do that. You said right here to Paul, Lord, you were the one that made Paul successful. God, we pray that you would do that for us too, for your glory. So in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Motives are a hard thing, man. That's a really honest answer, Sam. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. All right. So, especially in the morning after he wakes up, which he's still waking up. So, this is fair, right? Like, I'm not making fun of him. But I'll ask Zion a question in the morning and I'll say, Zion, did you sleep good? And he'll go, did you catch it? And almost imperceptible, like just a teeny tiny little head nod. And it's so funny. He does it all day. I love it. Absolutely. Now, long time. So I've kind of there you go. Good. Like I've learned to pick up on Z-Man's little bitty intricacies, and the other two kids too, for that matter. But it does. It cracks me up. So I have to scroll back through and read all y'all's funny comments. It looked like you were, I don't know, bickering over something when I was teaching, or being silly about something. Sushi and pizza and go back to school. That's funny. Build. Yeah, they're so. Hey, this is a random question. When y'all are watching on Wednesday nights, how are you watching? Are you watching on your phones or on a TV or a computer? What avenue are you using to watch right now? I can understand that, Maddie, for sure. Hannah's on her phone. Hey, Bailey, I didn't get to say hi to you yet. And she's not referring to her leader. Like she legitimately has a rat. She has more than one rat. Isn't that awesome? Ah, Sydney's killing it. The question is, would Amelia's rats and your chickens get along, Bailey? I don't know if a rat and chickens would get along either. Bye, Sam. See you, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's Tex. Thank you, McKenna. That's fun. Jackson gave me some good thoughts too. That's good stuff. So the thing about Zoom is there's too many of y'all at once to do a Zoom. Otherwise, sure. But yeah, there's too many of us going on at one time. But well, they've thankfully they've put some things in place to make Zoom a little bit safer. But yeah, it's yeah, that's that and when there's that many people on Zoom, like all of you are like, this big and it's hard to tell who's who and yeah. Yeah. I picked YouTube because that was the thing the majority of y'all had access to. Just about everybody can get on YouTube. Not everybody has Facebook or Instagram or social media, but just about everybody can get on YouTube. So that works out pretty good. We love you too, Ashlyn. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off too. It's time for me to go home. Oh, wow. Okay, so you were walking by the church and watching youth group online? Ah, I see. So you jumped on when you could. Cool. No, that is the nice thing about your phones is you um, be on the move and still tune in. So, well, next time you walk by the church, come bang on the door. All right. Bye, guys. I love y'all, and I will see you later. Have a fantastic week, and I will hopefully see you soon. Send me your talents. Bye, guys.